and a privilege and also an opportunity for us to be part of those who will witness the month of May, year 2023. And so I want to use this medium to appreciate us all for the achievement that we are recording so far. As a matter of fact, we are having a lot of progress happening in the community. And so today I will give us an update regarding how far we have come and also the gradual progress that we have been making. It has been a thing of concern previously regarding the email creation. And so we were able to find a lasting solution to the issue of the email addresses. And so I will be communicating with the administrators and also having some meetings with them regarding that aspect to ensure that this time around we do not have any excuse whatsoever to have pending migrations. And if possible, all the administrators and also leaders from across Africa, whether you are from Liberia or you are from Nigeria or Sierra Leone or Togo or Ghana or even Ivory Coast, by God's grace, over the weekend, I'm going to do a presentation regarding the email aspect with only the administrators who are especially handling the issue of migrations for the humanitarians. And so technology has provided us with uh, so many avenues to be able to achieve success regarding the issue of the email address. And so little did I know that one can actually get a slot from Google AdSense and also be able to create a lot of emails even without phone verification by just buying some certain amount of gigabytes on Google Cloud. And so you will be able to create a lot of emails that will be able to enhance verifications and also other aspects. And I just got to discover that big establishments and also companies also use the same medium in creating emails. And so, even though we have gone through a lot, it is good that we went through all of the stress in order to be able to understand what it takes to achieve this particular mission. And so I would have a meeting with all the administrators and also the humanitarians. We are making progress with this discovery, and I strongly believe that before Friday meeting, we should be able to complete all the pending migrations that are still pending, yet to be done. And then also, I want to use this medium to appreciate our able humanitarians who are very much enthusiastic and also following up gradually and also migrating their people simultaneously, especially Mr. Raymond and also Mr. Vokito, who is already, the both of them are already in the house. These are the humanitarians that are much more proactive currently for now, and also we also still have some humanitarians who have started migrating their people, but up till this moment, on the humanitarian side, we have not yet done even 15%. And so I'm encouraging the humanitarians not to relent, not to give up, and also not to feel discouraged. In missions like this, you will encounter a lot on your way. In a quest to achieve success, even your family members will discourage you. Even someone, the closest person to you, will tell you that why are you wasting your time? This is a scam. This is that. And so people will try everything possible to be able to discourage you, but don't heed to the discouragement. And so I'm using this medium to encourage all of us this evening, and also those who are going to listen to this recording. We are making progress. As a matter of fact, we have made a lot of progress, especially this week, beginning from a Monday of this week up till today. We had a lot of migrations came in from, and also sponsorships from Liberia, and also other regions. And so we want to use this opportunity to call on all those who have made payment. If you know that you have paid for your migration for your 0.02 BNB since December of this year, beginning from December, I know just a handful of people, a few persons actually made payment since November, because it was, I could remember vividly, November 28th or so. That was when the exchange went live. And so all those who made payment during the opening of the exchange live, going beginning from December, January, February up till this moment, and you don't know how to create an email or how to go about doing the the exchange sign up, kindly ensure to contact me directly so that we can put you through. And so I'm making this call so that all the pending migrations that are still yet undone should be able to come in, because going by the calculation of the entire payments for the 0.02 BNB, we still have over 1,000 migrations yet undone. And so I am pleading with us to ensure that we are able to uh, meet up with the migration process and also have yourself migrated on time, so that the exchange will also add you up in the number of the completed migrations on the exchange. And so payment is not just enough. When you make payment, is not just enough for the uh, migration to take place, because your coins are still on the ICO website. And so until you receive your coins on the Incredible Wealth Coin Exchange, that is when your migration is completed. And so I'm using this medium to call on all those concerned, and also those who have made payment for their migration fees and still yet to complete their migration. Kindly ensure that you are able to do that on or and before the end of this week. Yes, before the end of this week. And so that we can make progress. We want to clear all the pending migrations so that we will know the exact numbers that are up there in the exchange. And so far, beginning with the sponsorships, like I told us, I think we have barely 36 days left for the second extension of the 60 days challenge to come to an end. And of course, we all know that this is the last extension. After this period, the challenge will not be extended any longer. And so we have Mr. Mbappe from Togo, who sponsored about 11 persons. We also have Madam Ebere Chuku from Lagos, who sponsored five. We have Madam Favor Udoka from Lagos. She sponsored 14 persons. We also have Mr. Johnson from Liberia, who sponsored 20 migrations this week. And so we we have a total of almost 30, 35 migrations, including the pending migrations that are yet to be submitted, sponsorship for the second extension of the 60 days challenge. And so on the exchange, we have a total number of 11,435 completed migrations. And so we are almost 12,000. By the time the pending migrations are completed between now until Friday, we might go above 12,000. And so I want us to have it at the back of our mind that this is not an easy task. Because a lot of people were calling and putting a call through to me. As a matter of fact, someone who has not even yet migrated. The person has been offline for a very long time. And so she called me and then began to ask how can she use her bank account to withdraw. And so I asked her and I said, are you on the WhatsApp group chat? She said no, that she has been out since 2022. And so, if you are not current, you will not understand where we are at the moment. And as a result of that, you will not be able to meet up with the required information that you would need, supposedly, in order to get to understand where we are at the moment. And so, we are currently in the migration stage. And then also, I want to use this medium to uh, congratulate and also appreciate our able developers, because I'm going to post this recording on the executive chat room. The developers are doing a very nice job. And so the app is gradually coming up. The development has gone very far. And so, what is actually delaying the developers currently is the communication features. And so, for those of us who have been asking, what is the update regarding the app? And so, IWC is approaching an area that no cryptocurrency has ever approached in the history of blockchain. And so, for the first time, Incredible Wealth Coin is introducing blockchain communications, just like the way you can communicate on WhatsApp, on Messenger. And so, very soon, all of us in the Incredible community will be using IWC app to contact or communicate with one another. And so the developers were test running that communication features, and along the way, they discovered that there are some few lapses on the communications. There are some errors, and then there's some codings that they need to adjust. And so, currently, right now, the app is on the third stage of test run. And so, they are doing a nice job. It is not easy to create a blockchain app. It is not easy. It's a very difficult task. But we thank God for the development from the developers so far, and they are making a huge progress regarding that aspect. And so I would want to also commend Mr. Raymond Ezekiel on behalf of Honorable Kate, who is one of the humanitarians. I think they have made another payment yesterday, and so she has been very consistent these days making payments. And so you mustn't get a lot of a huge bulk amount of money before you can migrate. If we are going to take that particular initiative by migrating people batch in batches, it will help. And so before you know it, you have migrated a substantial number of persons, and then it will not be too burdensome. And so you mustn't get up to 1,000 migrations before you can migrate as a humanitarian. You can, as a matter of fact, you can migrate even as low as one person, five persons, depending on your capacity. And so by the time we have these migrations coming in, even if it's one at a time from different regions coming in on a daily basis, you will discover that we are getting somewhere in no time. And so currently, right now, we are approaching 12,000, and I am hopeful and very optimistic that by Friday, we should be able to get the 12,000 migrations on the exchange, because currently we are processing over 200 plus migrations even at this moment. And so it's in the process, and so I strongly believe that by Friday, we should be able to complete those migrations. And so today is actually going to be an interactive session because I just returned not too long, and I was unable to sit down to make prior preparations regarding the presentation for today. But all the same, the essence of this meeting is to give us constant updates in the sense that we have a lot of people who do not understand what is actually going on. And so for those of us who are going to listen to this audio, kindly follow up carefully. And also, if you cannot be able to join us consistently on the live meeting, you can always create time to listen to the audios that are being sent into our YouTube channel. And also do us a favor by subscribing to our YouTube channel, so that whenever a notification is posted, you will be the first person to be able to get the notification. And so I came across a very important news about the blockchain policy of Nigeria. I don't know how many people actually saw that. And so the implementation of the blockchain infrastructure framework is actually coming up in the month of September fully. And so the first sector that will be implementing the blockchain infrastructure and also ecosystem is the FIRS, the Federal Inland Revenue Commission in Nigeria. And so those of you who have been dangling and also having some doubts regarding this entire process, there is a lot going on behind the scene. And so very soon, people in Nigeria are going to be paying their taxes, and everything will be evaluated via the blockchain framework in Nigeria. And so those of you who are still waiting, you can keep waiting until then. When you see what happens, then it will be too late for you to comprehend. And so the framework for the FRIS, and also I think the central bank will come up first, and then very soon an announcement will go out regarding the electronic naira. And so, like I told you, even the Security and Exchange Commission of Nigeria are beginning to go into researching some frameworks that will give them the eligibility to charge commission on blockchain transactions. And so that is what is going on right now. One of the technicians and also one of the technical personnel at Federal Inland Revenue, actually, who is also part of IWC. He is one of their IT specialists at the Federal Inland Revenue head office in Abuja, who made this information available to me. That was yesterday, that currently at the moment, as a matter of fact, about three people were sponsored migrations from their office, because he is now our ambassador and also spreading the good news of IWC over there. And so he told me that currently that if I that do I know what is actually going on. I told him I don't know what is going on. What is going on? And so that was when he started explaining to me how the Federal Inland Revenue, FRRS, is going to be the first sector in Nigeria that will begin the blockchain, that will start using the blockchain framework apart from the Central Bank of Nigeria. And so currently they brought in specialists from the US uh, uh, to be able to tutor and also train the IT guys over there on how the entire aspect is going to look like, how the blockchain framework is going to look like. And so after Federal Inland Revenue, the next will be a Corporate Affairs Commission. He stated about three different, and then immigrations, and then customs. Different sectors are going to start using the blockchain framework and also the infrastructure this year 2023 in Nigeria with via the implementation of the blockchain policy of the federal government of Nigeria. And so many things are happening, and I want most of us to engage yourself in research, engage yourself in more findings to get to know more information about all of these things. It will help us as a community. It will also lessen the burden and also anxiety of so many of us. Another person also gave me an information regarding the aspect of the some of the banks. Some banks are going to also begin to request for more identification and also more verification from customers, because as I'm talking to you, a ledger by the central bank has already been created. And like I told us, that there are some people from the United States of America who actually came in just 1 week after Bill Gates visited Nigeria. I think that was last week or last 2 weeks ago. They brought in few experts, blockchain experts, that will begin to put in place most of these frameworks. So even the banking sector, very soon, the banking software is going to move into a blockchain ledger, wherein people can begin transactions will now become what transparent. And so it is gradually unfolding on a daily basis, and we are getting closer than you'd ever think when it comes to blockchain technology. And so do not allow anyone to deceive you, because one of the things that I am very sure about is that the government will not tell the citizens to go when it is in their favor. The government will always tell you come in when it is beyond your reach, when it is beyond when it is beyond you can comprehend. And so let us be wise. And also, the next aspect I want to point out is the issue of the migration process. And so, as soon as we get the required number of persons that are needed on the exchange, I would not be concentrating or focusing on migration any longer. And so I think I have been saying this from day one up till this moment, because we have a lot to be able to present on the Incredible Exchange. So once we have those numbers completed, the next line of focus is how to trade, and also how to teach people how to trade and stake. And so I'm still using this opportunity to call on whosoever or anyone who is still yet to do their migration. Do us a favor by trying as much as possible to ensure that you have done your migration in this period of migration, because I will not be paying attention much on the issue of migration in the nearest future when everything begins to unfold. And so let's take note of that. And it will also interest most of us to know that very soon the 5,000 payment will no longer be accepted, because those of you who are not aware, we have been doing this to help more people to migrate And so at a point in time, IWC, sometimes the value or price of Bitcoin normally goes high. And so due to that effect, it is IWC that bears the cost during migrations. And so I'm just giving us a hint on the present meeting that were executive meeting that was held. And so those of you who are still yet to migrate, very soon you may have to look for 0.02 BNB for you to do your migration. Why? Because the 5,000 that you are paying can no longer buy 0.02 BNB. And so I want us to take note of that. And so this is one of the reasons I'm using this medium to call on those of us who are still yet to do their migrations to ensure that you try as much as possible in this season when you can to do that migration very importantly. And also, secondly, we discovered that there are some individuals. If you are ever someone ever chatted you and also looking for IWC to buy from you, kindly report that issue to me immediately. And so there are a few spammers who came in. I think that was a day before yesterday. Someone from Liberia told me that they hacked his email and also attempt to log into his account. And so those of us who are in charge of administrative affairs, we entrusted you with the migration process because we know that whatever happens, we will track the record of transactions on the Incredible World Coin exchange. Now, we already have cases coming around how people are trying to siphon other people's coins. On no account is anyone permitted to transfer coins from any beneficiary without their consent. And so, anyone, whether you are a humanitarian or you are an administrator, on no account should you move coins from anyone's account without their permission. Why? Because now, the day you finish your migration, let me just take us through this process because a lot of us may not understand what it is or how it takes for whatever fraudulent activities that it will take place, whether now or in the future, can be traced. Now, any transaction record or history on the exchange cannot be deleted. So I'm using this medium to give those who are going to be stealing coins from other people, I'm giving you a hint not to even begin from the first place. And so any transaction that comes into your account, the history will be there. It will both be on your private side and also on the public side. And so every transaction that goes into the exchange, it can be traced on BSC scan. Or better still, the Binance Blockchain Explorer. And so, for those of you who are administrators, because we people have started complaining that some people or just did their migrations and their coins got missing. When we happened to go through the entire process, we discovered that the coins were transferred from one account to another. And so that is the beauty of blockchain. You cannot cheat, you cannot bypass that process, you cannot be able to delete or try to do something very fishy that will make your feet disappear. No. And so you need to be very careful, especially the administrators. Once you are given an obligation to do that obligation and deliver that obligation because when any complaint comes from any beneficiary regarding illegal transaction on their account, it can be traced. And so we will know which username or from what wallet address or account this transaction is coming from, and where did this transaction go to via the blockchain explorer. If you remember what I told you on our blockchain series, now the blockchain has two different important keys, both public and private keys. And so your public transactions are viewable on the blockchain explorer, both the date and the time that those transactions were carried out, and also how many coins were moved from one end to the other. It can be traced. And so that is what makes the blockchain transactions very, very transparent and straightforward. And those records cannot be deleted. You cannot delete those records on the blockchain explorer. They are there for life. And so let us take note of whatever, think twice, especially those of you who are administrators or people who are found of logging into other people's account unauthorized. You will need to take note. So a word is enough for the wise. And so, secondly, I will do justice to ensure that we have gone round. And so we are looking at visiting the southeast, hopefully third week of July, and towards the end of July. So there will be a trip or tour to the northeast, sorry, not southeast. And so Mr. God's Power and also other people from that region. That is the only region that we are not very strong when it comes to IWC. And so we want to be all over. And also, by God's grace, by the end of this 60 days challenge, we are going to begin the merchant training properly, and also the offline merchant traders too. We are going to be training you on how you can be able to carry out your transaction and also activities on the Incredible Exchange via the merchant program. And so we are going to start that training, God willing, by the end of this the extended challenge. The training will commence immediately. And so, like I said, we are going to bring both outsiders and also other professionals from in other fields, anything that has to do with trading, so that you as an individual or as a merchant should be able to get a full detailed information regarding what it is that you will need to know, the benefits that you stand to enjoy as a merchant, and also the rules of trading, and so many other aspects that you need to know concerning being a merchant on the Incredible Exchange. And so that training will commence by the end of this challenge. I will announce the date on the merchant group chat. And so we already have rolled out the requirements to becoming a merchant. And so those of you who are interested and want to become merchants or train to know to learn how to trade, not just crypto trading, but general trading also. We are going to teach people how to trade, because if you know how to trade, you will help the community to grow more faster, especially the exchange when trading begins. And so we are going to take that training up by the end of this extended 60 days challenge. And so, so far, that is how far we have come. And currently, the sponsorships are coming in very slow in this extension. Uh, we I expected more sponsorship than the initial 60 days challenge, but we are moving simultaneously. And so currently we have a total number of 38 sponsorships so far from the day we extended the 60 days challenge up till date. And for those of you who are just joining us very late, we have about 11,435 completed migrations on the exchange. And so migrations are still coming in. We also have pending migrations that are still yet to be migrated. And so by the time we get all those pending migrations in, you will discover that we should be able to go up to probably 13 to 14 or even 15,000 migrations on the exchange. And so we are gradually making progress simultaneously. And so I'm using this medium to call on all the coordinators in other regions. And so I learned that some of our coordinators are not always active until you see a leadership come to your area. It shouldn't be like that. And so I mustn't be in Liberia because before the Liberian leaders begin to work. I shouldn't be, it's not until I appear in Sierra Leone that the coordinators from Sierra Leone will begin to work. You shouldn't wait until any leadership arrives in your location or your country before you can engage the community or begin to work. And so this is a collective effort. All of us are beginning to see what the entire platform is now all about. And so some of us are beginning to slack back. And so this is not the time to slack back. I could remember that we have a lot of people who came in with so much zeal when the migration process began. And so that zeal died after 1 month. And so those of you who are thinking it is easy. It is not easy. Whatever it is that we are going to achieve in IWC, it is not a magical achievement. It takes hard work, commitment, focus, consistency. And so, even though I am engaged into so many other areas and also attending to people across Africa, I still create time to be able to come on board, give us information, and also carry everyone along. So that is what leadership is all about. And so, if I were to come and display after 1 month and I go back home and sit down or relent, a lot of you would have given up on this project. And so, it is a collective effort. Those of us who want to see that we have this exchange open, what are you contributing to see to ensure the success of the opening of the exchange? Is a collective effort. And so we have people paying for migrations, we have people sponsoring migrations, we also have people in charge of helping to migrate. And so it's a collective effort. So it is not easy to achieve 1,000 sign ups on the exchange. It takes hard work. And so, those of you who are always complaining, instead of complaining, engage yourself into doing one thing or the other that will enhance or help to make this particular process move faster. Some of us, from the beginning of this exchange open, you only migrated yourself and then you held your peace, waiting for the exchange to open for you to withdraw. What about other people that have not yet migrated? And so this is a collective effort, like I always tell us. Some are sponsoring, some are migrating, and some are also coming on board as new members. And so, when all of us come together and put our hands together, it makes the work very easier. And so, like I told us, we already have found a solution to this email issue. And so, there won't be any migrations pending right now. And so, for those of you who are always sponsoring and the migrations are pending, there will be no longer pending migrations. And so, as a matter of fact, currently we are waiting for sponsorships right now. And so, those of you who are sponsoring and also intending to sponsor, you still have an opportunity to do that because we have a lot of humanitarians on standby to be migrated into the exchange. And so I would like to stop here. I think we have spent over 40 minutes. Like I told us, today is going to be an interactive session. So I don't know if there is any comment or question or maybe contribution. You can just signify by raising up your hands on the app, and I will do justice to that question or comment if there is any. And so if there is none, like I promised us, we are going to be having a meeting for only 45 minutes. And so this is supposed to be an update, except times where we have a lot of issues to resolve or questions to answer. And so, yes, Mr. George, you can unmute your mic right now. I can see you are raising up your hand.
Okay, good evening, sir,
Yes, good evening. You are welcome, sir.
and good evening to all my colleagues. I want to appreciate you, sir, for your good works and efforts.
Thank you, sir.
I want to inform you. I have already sent the evidences to your WhatsApp page that within this week I sponsored 5 migrations,
Oh,
which will be the
that's good.
migration
Okay.
completed. So I send the evidences to you, and
Okay,
so
that's
for
good.
now that is what I can offer. So I will soon forward the evidences to the admin, unless you are the ones that will forward them. But if not, I will forward um the whatever the normal email to the admins, and then like I was told, then I will forward my own migration email to the admin with the evidences of the migration sponsored. And so that is what I want to let you know. And I also encourage my colleagues, my fellow partners in this crypto business. Once the Lord does something to you financially, please do all you can to sponsor somebody. And we are still making efforts, especially down here in the southeast. We are making efforts to see, because I was considering between putting the money into publicity, which can't go far too way long for the publicity of the migration. And then I said, let me migrate, let me sponsor 5, so that when I'll be talking, I'll be telling somebody, look, I sponsored 5, please, can you do this? And so that is how far that Southeast has gone. And so that is the update from the Southeast now.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. And I highly appreciate that bold step that you have taken as a leader. I think I have been to Enugu several times, especially during the ICO. I can attest that you are one of the most proactive leaders, working very hand in hand with Mr. Paul. And so I really want to appreciate the both of you for putting on momentum over there in the southeast. And so you will forward the evidence of payments. Once that is done, I will go through it, and then I will respond to those messages that you sent on WhatsApp immediately after this meeting. And so I really want to commend your effort and also appreciate you for working along with Mr. Paul, not relenting, and also not listening to criticisms, and also kept forging ahead. One thing is certain, like I always say it here, and I will continue to say it. As a matter of fact, there is no cryptocurrency or any project that has to do with cryptocurrency that gives and also carries people along the way we do. And it's not only in Africa, even in other regions. The reason being is because we want to be able to engage some level of transparency even after the exchange open. We will always come back here and interact, and also tutor and also learn from each other and give testimonies even here on this forum. And so it is something that is worth emulating. And so for those of us who are still who are standing behind, let us come together. When do we want this exchange to start trading? Can this exchange come up and start trading in the month of July, by the end of July? Yes, it's possible. It's possible with our collective effort. What is holding the exchange from trading right now is the migrations. Is the migrations. And so let us all focus, because when we focus into migrating and also creating more awareness as ambassadors that we are for IWC, the better it becomes and the easier it becomes. Because when all of us engage from all over all regions, even if it is one or two person that are coming in on a daily basis with the sponsorships, it doesn't matter whether this person is already a subscriber from the ICO. New persons can also come in. That is one of the reasons, that is one of the things that Liberian people are doing. I want to appreciate Mr. Smo Moluba and also all the other coordinators who have been working. We have a lot of new people coming in using this particular initiative. They come in, they sponsor someone, they get 50 coins, and also the other person migrates with their 50 coins. And so, as you can see, the numbers, the base is expanding. And so, those of us who are coordinators and also leaders, don't just depend on our people. You can also engage other people who never heard about IWC, especially just like what Mr. George said. It will help us to move more faster, because when someone new comes in and sponsored an existing user, the base has been expanded. And so I want to appreciate you, Mr. George, and also everyone for that particular, for the efforts that we have been putting. Yes, you want to say
No,
something
sir.
again?
No, no, sir. No.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. It's okay. So I think we are all acquainted with the update this evening. We already have gone 47 minutes past. And so, is there any other concern or question or contribution before I give an opportunity to Mr. Paul, who is also the assistant ambassador? I have not been seeing the ambassador for some time. It looks the last time he complained that electricity is out in his area for some time. But let us, those of us who are leaders, let us try to be punctual so that we can be an example to others. Yes, Mr. Paul. Good evening. I can see you are also in the house. How far have you gone with the last sponsorship from Lagos that came in through you? Have you been able to send those migrations to the admin?
Good evening, sir.
Yes, good
Good evening,
evening, Mr.
House.
Paul. Yes.
Very unfortunate that last week I was unable to attend the two meetings because of my tight schedule.
Okay.
So I traveled anyway. I traveled to Niger State. I just came back yesterday morning. So
Okay.
for business, yes. So now my problem with the those people that most some of about three of them are not in the city and they're not even they don't even have something like um, email
Yes.
or even talk of using Android phone.
Okay.
So people, as a matter of fact, uh, it's like a family. The young lady is trying to help her family member. That's why she pick the name of those people. So it's about two of them that have email address. Um, Yesterday, I was even talking to one of them. I said, what is delaying you in sending me your email address and the other person as well? So definitely this week, we are going to get it done. The only problem I'm having is these other three persons. I don't know what to do.
All right.
Hence,
And so you already have Mr. George over there with you. And so kindly ensure that those three other people we create their Mr. George should create their emails for them, and also let's have every all of them migrated before our next meeting by Friday, please. And so let's ensure to have them migrated latest by tomorrow or before our meeting on Friday. And so let me know before Friday if you are unable to migrate them, so that we can find a means of having. I don't want to have much or more pending migrations piled up any longer. And so between now and tomorrow, let us communicate to ensure that we migrate all those 5%. All right?
okay, okay,
Yes. Thank you
it's
so
okay,
much.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, sir.
All right.
Thanks for the great job you're doing.
Thank you so much. All right. I
Welcome.
think that is that for from Mr. Paul. Like I promised, Mr. God's power, we will be in your region very soon. Hopefully, I'm looking at between third to the fourth week of this month, so that you can begin to prepare, and also you and your coordinators over there. You can unmute your mic, sir, and greet the house very quickly as I'm trying to wrap up this evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes,
Good
good evening, Mr.
evening,
God's power.
House. Um, it's good to be at the meeting today where we get updates as to the progress we are making so far in IWC.
Mm.
It shows that what we have now is not stagnation, it is
Yes,
progress. Mm. Little by little, we will achieve the overall objective and we
exactly.
will all smile. Um, be that as it may, we will do all we can collectively because it has to be a collective effort now. We are the ones that will make it happen. We are the community of IWC now. Outsiders cannot come and make things happen. The members of the community will have to put hands together and collectively we'll get there. I look forward to having you in the Northeast. I believe the Northeast here is um, a, a field that is yet to be cultivated. So it is there's potentiality for IWC to have a wide coverage here if we go
Okay.
if we do the right thing. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And
So
thank you
let's
very much, sir.
thank you so much. Let's interface with the coordinator for Bauchi State, perhaps, and also Mr. Tanimu is not in the house, the assistant state coordinator for Kaduna State. I think we will be interfacing with the coordinator from Jos in Plateau State, second week. Then the third week or the fourth week of this month, we should be in Bauchi State, and then from there, probably we could be in Yobe and also going all the way to Yola. And so I would like to have us begin to prepare and also begin to create some awareness. Let's begin to put some plans in place, and also let's begin to have some publicity ideas on how we can be able to reach out to people regarding what is currently happening. And so that is that. And I will also try as much as possible to get in touch with some of our leaders and coordinators from the Northeast, especially in Yola, those of some of which they have been looking forward to seeing us. But all the same, those of you who are still yet to do your migration, and if you are from Yola and you are going to listen to this audio, ensure that you have your migrations ready, or try as much as possible to do your migrations before we get there. It's very important so that we as a community can achieve success and also make progress with immediate effect. And so I want to thank everyone for taking our time to come on board. I want to appreciate Mr. Ezekiel Raymond for his focus, and also for encouraging the entire process. And also I want to appreciate Mr. Volkito for taking a bold step to migrate 160 persons in the previous challenge. And so the challenge is still ongoing. And so let us not relent. Let's keep the fire burning until we get the required numbers that are needed on the exchange. And so this is the much we can take for tonight. There is no any comment on the comment section. On behalf of other leaders, I want to appreciate us all for coming on board tonight. Let's do it again on Friday. Thank you so much, and good night, everyone. Thank you very much.